Since leaving the EU, there have been strict immigration rules for EU citizens who want to work in the UK. After all, Boris Johnson's Brexit promise was British jobs for British. But that had consequences. Now Johnson is forced to make exceptions. Massive delivery problems for gasoline and food are apparently forcing the government in Great Britain to make an abrupt U-turn. As the British media unanimously reported on Saturday, Prime Minister Boris Johnson wants to use exemptions to bring thousands of foreign truck drivers into the country in order to master the acute crisis. The strict Brexit visa regulations are currently making the immigration of skilled workers more difficult, so that the logistics industry has come under even greater pressure. More recently, it became known that some energy companies were unable to supply dozens of gas stations. Sometimes long queues formed. It is these images that have led Johnson to rethink, as it's at least said in the British papers. Boris is fed up with the bad headlines and wanted to be resolved. He no longer cares about visa rules, the Financial Times quoted an ally of Johnson saying. Business representatives were relieved. However, the industry association CBI warned the government against believing that the crisis would be solved with the help of a few thousand foreign drivers, especially as numerous industries complain of a shortage of skilled workers. We don't have trained butchers, we don't have trained welders, we don't have cooks, we don't have electrical engineers, so there is a labor shortage across the economy, CBI boss Tony Danker told the BBC. The government is demanding that companies hire and train more British workers and pay higher wages. Danker admitted necessary reforms, but criticized the government for its approach. You can't turn backhandlers into butchers or shopkeepers into cooks overnight, he said. The Road Haulage Association estimates that there is a shortage of around 100,000 truck drivers in the UK. That is why there were bottlenecks and empty supermarket shelves in many places. The energy companies BP and Esso were no longer able to supply some petrol stations with fuel due to the lack of drivers. Other sectors, such as meat manufacturers, also complain of a blatant shortage of skilled workers. Since Brexit, EU citizens moving to the UK for work have had to obtain expensive visas. The enormous increase in gas prices also has an impact on the supply, and hundreds of thousands of consumers are faced with higher bills. The energy companies BP and Esso, as I said, closed several dozen petrol stations, while others only offered petrol or diesel. The operator EG Group introduced an upper limit of £30 per customer at the pumps. Cabinet members, sometimes in a shrill tone, called on the population to refrain from panic buying. We call this hamster shopping in Germany, by the way. There is no shortage of fuel, tweeted Culture Minister Nadine Dorries. I repeat, there is no lack of fuel. Well, go out there. There should be an upper limit for visa exceptions, which, according to information from Sky News, could be 5,000. A government spokesman stressed that any regulation would be very strictly limited. The deputy leader of the opposition Labour Party, Angela Rayner, criticized on the BBC for having put itself in the position because of its fatal decisions. Experts also warned that foreign skilled workers might not find the planned regulation attractive at all, because they would have to fear that they would have to leave the country again after a few months. And not talking about the xenophobia there at the moment. Since numerous truck drivers are also wanted in the EU, the specialists could prefer a secure job in the international community. And with the behavior of a lot of people in the comments, and quite racist comments there I see every day, I think that some people really would think about going to the UK at the moment. Of course, it's not everyone, but that is there in numbers at the moment, and this is something I wouldn't want to endure. I get a lot of anti-German comments enough, and I wouldn't move there to get them. When I lived there, it was okay. Today, seriously, in the current situation, I wouldn't repeat that. And I'm going to stay here anyway, and because I'm involved in politics here now, and that's why today, when I'm filming this for you, when you're seeing this, it's yesterday. It's a quite interesting day because today there are general elections in Germany, and after filming this video and uploading it, and editing it before that, I'll go to our city hall to the official publication of the votes. It's a much nicer thing to go there now with it on that stage of the pandemic where we are. You can do that again, and all people from all parties are there. And then when the first results come in, you see all the reactions from everyone. I hope that we can have still a quite positive reaction tonight, but nobody knows. It's such an open election, like we haven't seen that in decades. And so it's a very exciting day. Can be bad, can be good. I'll keep you posted in the next days, definitely on my EU channel, about the results and the consequences. So have a look there too. And in general, I wanted to say, I hope there are some people also on this channel who want to have a broader picture, because I can see that that some have subscribed to my other channels but only watch the videos if there's one about UK in the meantime, and don't watch the others. For me, that's why I'm doing all this work on the other channels, where I mostly don't make any money with that, because I think it's absolutely necessary for people to get a broader picture, to get out of their own bubble. That's why I also added the European, the global, and the USA channel, so you get a bigger picture. And I hope some of you will listen to what I'm saying and at least try to follow news from other places in the world, because it's really important to do so and not to stay in your bubble. Staying in your bubble will in the end result in a lot of things we don't want. We've seen this with Brexit. We've seen this in Germany with people voting for the AfD, for example, are another example for this. They are living in their small bubble, mostly on Telegram groups or whatever, and not getting anything else from the rest of the world. And so I hope some of you will. I'm not talking about subscribing to the other channels. That's not the important part. Watching those videos and get some more information. And I'm happy about everyone who visits me there. I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.